Friends, a very warm welcome to you all to my YouTube channel Study With Me. So today we are going to start with a new chapter of our class 11 biology, that is chemical coordination. This chapter is all about hormones in the human body. So first of all, let's study what is hormone. Okay. See friends, hormones are actually non-nutrient substances which are secreted by the endocrine glands of our body. Now what are endocrine glands? These are actually those glands which does not contains any duct, okay? And they pour their secretion directly into the blood flow or the lymph flow. Hormones are also known as intercellular messengers just because these are secreted in between the two cells, right? Just as we studied that they are directly poured into the blood, hence between the cells, right? They are secreted in a trace amount, means very less amount, and they work slowly but obviously long lasting, right? And they are highly specific in nature, like they are very specific, which about which chemical reaction they are starting, okay? And they do not initiate the reaction, but they just increase the rate of reaction. Just likewise the enzymes in a chemical reaction, they work similarly, okay? So now we are going to study about different endocrine glands of a human body. So the first gland, that is hypothalamus. It is the master of master endocrine gland. Means it is the superior most gland, right? It connects the nervous system with the endocrine system. It is the main gland, okay? And it is present at the base of diencephalon, and this diencephalon is a part of our brain. We will study about it further, okay? Now, the hypothalamus consists of neurosecretory cells, and these cells are also known as nuclei. And these nuclei cells, they release two types of hormones. One is releasing hormone and the other is inhibiting hormones. Now, these are the types of releasing hormones it secretes, and these are the inhibiting hormones it secretes. Okay. Now first, let us study about the stimulating hormones. The first is gonadotrophin releasing hormones. So obviously it works on the gonads, okay. It works upon testes and ovaries, and it helps in release of sex hormones, okay. The next hormone is prolactin, also known as PRL, right. So it works on the mammary gland and helps in releasing of the milk. And next is TSH, that is known as thyroid hormone. So it is also known as thyroid stimulating hormone, also known as tyrosine. Okay. Other is ACTH. The full form is adrenocorticotropic hormone. Okay. So this hormone actually it helps in release of another hormone, that is cortisol, which is released by the adrenal gland. The next is somatokinin, that is known as growth hormone releasing hormone. Now let us study about the inhibiting hormones. The first is somatostatin. This hormone inhibits the growth hormone. Okay. Next is dopamine. That is, it inhibits the prolactin. Means the inhibiting hormones, they inhibit these like releasing hormones or the other hormones. We should remember that the hypothalamus is originated from the ectoderm layer, right? Now we are going to study about the next endocrine hormone of the human body, that is pituitary gland. It is also known as hypophysis. Okay. So, it is present in the sphenoid bone, that is the skull bone. Okay. Its bony cavity, that is known as sella turcica. This is very important that it is present in the sella turcica, which is a bony cavity in the sphenoid bone. Okay. Now the hypophysis, that is the pituitary gland, it has two parts, right? One is known as adenohypophysis, that is the anterior part, and the other is known as neurohypophysis, that is the posterior part. Now the the adenohypophysis, it consists of the majority part, right? That is 75%, and the neurohypophysis, it just consists of 25% of the hypophysis, right? The adenohypophysis is further divided into pars distalis and pars intermedia. Right. They are almost merged with each other. Pars distalis part of our adenohypophysis, it secretes the growth hormone, that is somatotrophin. And this hormone has diabetogenic effect, and there can be two conditions. In one condition, it can be that this hormone is secreted in very less amount, that is the hyposecretion of it. Right. The hyposecretion means the less secretion of somatotrophin leads to dwarfism, and these people are known as midgets, means short people, and it further leads to ateliosis. This all means the same, right? Means short people. And the other effect can be the hypersecretion, means the excess secretion of somatotrophin. It leads to gigantism, right? Means excessively tall people, and these effects are seen in the children, right? Likewise, the hypothalamus pituitary gland is also ectodermal in origin. Now, in case of hyper secretion of somatotrophin, the another disease which can occur is acromegaly. We should note that gigantism and dwarfism it occurs in the children, right? But acromegaly it occurs in adult people. It is the disfiguration of the face, and the face of the person looks like a gorilla, right? And this is a very deadly disease which causes a premature death. Now, let us study about pars intermedia. Pars intermedia secretes MSH, that is melanocyte stimulating hormone. This melanocyte stimulating hormone is means functions to release the melanin in our body. That this melanin is responsible for our skin color, right? The more is the amount of melanin, the darker is the skin color. Now, the second type of hypophysis, that is neurohypophysis, it is also known as pars nervosa, right? The pars nervosa part of the hypophysis, it is totally under control of neurons of the hypothalamus, right? So like we studied that a hypothalamus is the master of master endocrine gland, and this hypophysis it is the master endocrine gland, okay? And it is totally like most part of it is under control of hypothalamus. Now see, it is under control of neurons of hypothalamus, and it mostly stores the hormones, right? The neurohypophysis part. Now it secretes two type of hormones, one is oxytocin and other is vasopressin. These both of them are neurohormones, okay? Now, let us study about oxytocin first. The artificial form of oxytocin is uh, pitocin, right? Now, oxytocin is milk ejecting hormone and also known as birth hormone, right? Like now you may get confused in oxytocin and prolactin because they have almost similar function, but there is a difference. Oxytocin is milk ejecting hormone, but prolactin it helps in secretion of the breast milk, okay? Now the second is vasopressin, that is also known as antidiuretic hormone, ADH, okay? Now, ADH works on kidney and helps in balance of water electrolytes and reabsorption of water from DCT and collecting duct. Okay, so it helps in like prevention of loss of water from the body. Okay, so we will study about this vasopressin hormone in detail in excretion chapter. So in short, we should know that as it helps in prevention of water loss from the body, hence it contracts the vessel, hence increasing the atrial blood pressure. Okay, when the vessels contract, the atrial blood pressure obviously will increase. Okay, and the water will be more absorbed from in the inside the body. Now, in case of diabetes insipidus, no glucose is found in the urine, means diuresis occurs, and there is more urine outcome from the body, and ADH hormone decreases. Okay, see, the amount of ADH released is very much decreased, hence there is more water loss from the body. So this condition is known as diabetes insipidus, and the other diabetes, which is the most common diabetes, that is known as diabetes mellitus. Now the third hormone is pineal gland. It is known as epiphysis. Okay, it is found in dorsal, it is dorsal to the forebrain. Okay, means in the dorsal side of the forebrain it is found. It has two parts, that is pineal stalk and the body, which is red in color. Okay, so the hormone secreted by the pineal gland is melatonin hormone, right? When there is light, the melatonin hormone decreases, and in dark condition the melatonin hormone increases. It is responsible for the diurnal cycle, that is sleep wake cycle, or the biological clock of our body, also known as 24-hour cycle, right? It is maximum in the midnight and minimum in the noon. This is important. Okay, so this hormone is responsible for our temperature, body temperature, skin color, menstruation period, defense or delay in puberty. Okay, now the next hormone is thyroid gland. It is the largest gland of our body, and its shape is H shape, or it looks like a butterfly, means its shape is like that. Okay, it is found in the sides, in the two sides of the trachea. It has two lobes which are connected by isthmus. Okay, it is just a connection between the two lobes of the thyroid gland. Okay, now the thyroid gland has been divided into two parts. One is stromal, that is also known as tissue part of it, and the other is follicles. Okay, follicles are held by, this is not important. Now the follicles, they secrete two types of hormones. One is thyroxine and the other is triiodothyronine. Okay, first let's study about thyroxine hormone. It increases the growth and it increases the basal metabolic rate. Okay, means the amount of heat in the body. It has calorigenic effect. Now it it also helps in tissue differentiation, like it helps tadpole to convert into frog. Okay, it helps in RBC formation, that is known as erythropoiesis. T4 is it is also known as T4, that is tetraiodothyroxine. Okay, the thyroxine is known as this. Now the triiodothyronine, that is T3, it is active and potent. It is stored in the lumen. Hormones are not much different from each other. It's just that this, that is also known as T4, it converts into the T3. This is the most active and potent hormone. Okay, in the peripheral tissue of our liver. Also, between our thyroid follicles, there are another types of cell present which are known as C cells or parafollicular cells. These cells are responsible for secretion of calcitonin. Calcitonin is also known as parafollicular hormone, and it is responsible for calcium homeostasis in our body, that is decrease of calcium in the body. Okay, it in decrease decreases the calcium in the plasma and the in our body. Okay, now the thyroid diseases, there are two types of thyroid diseases, means the two conditions can be there in one. There can be hypo, means less secretion of the thyroid hormones, or it can be hyper secretion of the thyroid hormones. Now first let's study about hyposecretion of them. Okay, so in case of less secretion of thyroid hormones, there can be two conditions. One is goiter and the other is cretinism. Right. In case of goiter, the iodine in our body is decreased, means the iodine level is decreased, and hence it leads to swelled neck. In case of cretinism, this disease is mostly found in infants, right, means small babies, and in this disease the metabolism level of the body decreases and it leads to potted belly And pigeon chest, out tongue means tongue is out of the mouth, it appears like. And the BP level decreases, heart rate decreases, body temperature decreases, blood sugar level decreases, but the cholesterol level increases. This point is important. Okay. And the child is deaf and dumb. Stunted growth is shown in such a child, and mental retardism is shown. Okay. So such a child looks like this. Now, in case of hypersecretion, the disease that is shown is known as Graves' disease, which is also known as exophthalmic goiter. Okay, this is important. It means cancer in the thyroid nodules. It leads to bulging of our eyeballs. The body temperature, blood pressure, and heart rate increases. So the person appears to be very excited all the time, and it is some irritable person. Okay, it is mostly shown in females. Okay. Now the next endocrine gland of a human body is parathyroid gland. Okay. So this gland is found at the back of thyroid gland, but it is independent to the thyroid gland. It is not dependent on it. Okay. So it has total 4 lobes. 2 are small, which consist of chief cells, and 2 are large, which consist of oxyphil cells. Okay. This gland secretes a peptide hormone that is known as parath hormone or Collips hormone. It is known as PTH. Okay. It is responsible for calcium balance of our body, or and the calcium is responsible for blood clotting. Hence, it increases the blood clotting in the body. It decreases. To this, we studied that hypothalamus secretes PTH also. So the full form of PTH is that only. Okay. See friends, PTH is responsible for increase of calcium level in the blood, but earlier we studied that calcitonin is responsible for decrease of blood flow, decrease of calcium level in the blood or plasma. Okay. Now, hence this hormone is responsible for rapid cell division and early sexual maturity. So, this hormone actually works upon the renal tubes, bones, and our digestive system, and it reabsorbs the calcium and it gives it to the blood. Okay. Now, the next hormone is thymus, which is also endodermal, right? It is present near the aorta of the heart. Okay. It is also lobular, so the outer part of it is known as cortex, and the inner part is medulla. This hormone means this gland is responsible for our immunity. It releases the peptide hormone that is thymosin, which gives the humoral immunity, right? Which is also known as cell mediated immunity. So, it helps in differentiation of our T cells. So, these T lymphocytes or T cells are responsible for maturation and development of, sorry. It works upon T lymphocytes, which helps in maturation and development of T cells. Okay, like that. So, we should also know that with age of human being, the thymus degenerate and the immunity decreases, and the thymosin hormone level also decreases. Okay. This gland is one among the primary lymphoid organ. Okay.